Good morning, everyone from New York City, and I hope you are having a good day wherever you are. It's a beautiful morning here, finally, after a very few cold days. We continue our COVID coffee chats from the city. We've already done a couple with our friends in Albania and China, and today we have colleagues from UNDP Azerbaijan. A warm welcome to Charu Bist, the Deputy Resident Representative, Nargiz Gulieva, the head of solutions within the Accelerator Lab in Azerbaijan, and Leila Sayedzadeh, who is the head of exploration. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about Azerbaijan's virtual hackathon that you guys have been working on. What were some of the objectives? How did the idea come about? And how is it potentially linking up to some of the other initiatives that UNDP country offices are also working on? I mean, I think Azerbaijan was one of the first country offices to come up with this concept. So over to you guys.
Hi, I'm Leila Sayedzadeh from Accelerator Lab Azerbaijan. I'm responsible for explorations, and what I basically do, I bring new partnerships, I do horizon scanning and catch emerging signals. So as soon as we experienced this COVID outbreak in Azerbaijan, we came up with the idea of virtual hackathon in partnership with our key partners like Ministry of Information Technologies and innovative community which exists in Azerbaijan.
Hi, I'm Nargiz. I'm a head of solution mapping, and my role within the Accelerator Lab in Azerbaijan is to find the solutions that come from the grassroots level, from the communities. As my colleague mentioned, that was not our first hackathon. With this hackathon, we have recognized that the issue with the COVID-19 is not just the healthcare, but also economic and social crisis that the countries are facing. We have looked broader, together with the partners and other stakeholders. What are the areas that directly and indirectly influenced and affected by the COVID-19? In this regard, we have 10 different topics where we look on the most vulnerable groups. We look on the small and medium enterprises. We look on the COVID-19 and its influence on the environment. And in this, and taking this into consideration, we have did this virtual global hackathon. I'm proud to say that we have 40 countries who have we have participants from 40 countries who have applied for this. And as a highlight, I would like to emphasize 3 winners we have. The one we had from Brazil, where they were developing a rapid test kit based on the antigens they derived from the zebrafish. The second place was a group from Azerbaijan who introduced an idea of vouchers for SMEs. Basically, the clients can buy the vouchers and then get the service after the pandemic will be over. And our winners were called Crisis Heroes. It's a group from Poland where they created a virtual market space to match people in need and those people who would like to assist them as volunteers.
Thanks, Nargis. Thanks, Leila. That's actually really interesting. I really like the name Crisis Heroes. I mean, it really is. I mean, there are so many heroes as part of this crisis, you know, that whether it's people who are working in the health sector or people who are working in restaurants, providing us with food, etc. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see sort of online heroes, right, providing us with these solutions. I had a bit of a follow-up question on that. I mean, when you mean sort of marketplace, and you said that this was kind of connecting people in need of certain issues against the providers. I mean, could you give us a quick example maybe of how this could actually play out in reality?
So the bigger idea of this virtual market space is that it creates this digital community, digital space, or I would even say digital citizenship, you know, for people to reach out for the help they need. The example would be for, let's say, elderly who are locked down as a result of the COVID-19 and need to do some grocery shopping. They can get these services from that, let's say, virtual market space to get that service and match with the volunteers who are willing to provide it.
That's actually absolutely, I think that's a very, very, helpful initiative. I mean, the elderly are some of the most affected by this, and being able to provide them with day-to-day services like grocery shopping through a virtual marketplace is certainly something that's super important. Thanks for this, guys. The other really interesting thing I saw coming out of Azerbaijan was this SelfChecker bot called Shefa. I believe this was a joint initiative between the Ministry of Health and UNDP, UNDP Azerbaijan. And I believe Shefa means health and recovery. This is a self-checker bot, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of questions have been programmed into the software, into the checker bot, and are there any other partners? What kind of response you are getting to the self-checker bot?
So yes, you are totally right. We have developed self-checker named Shefa, the bot. Actually, Shefa is the female name, Azerbaijani female name, so it's quite humanized now. So we developed this in partnership with Ministry of Health and the Health Reform Center. And this was one of the numerous requests, digital requests, we responded immediately coming from government. And we developed it in a very short period of time based on the protocols of WHO and some other practices confirmed worldwide. And it became available like in a week for the self-checking. So we introduced this bot. It's accessible through the messengers and through the website of Ministry of Health. And in first few days after the launch, more than 1,500 people applied, actually pushed the button and went through the whole process. It's not AI-based bot, but it's very effective because it's effective from both sides. First, it's very simple and easy to follow for the people who use it, for the regular population. And at the same time, it helps government and the owners to collect the information about the people, about the regions, some demographic information, geographical information, and the rest. That's how it works. And the good thing that if it spots some alarming, something alarming in your health condition, it immediately recommends you to call the ambulance. And that's how it works.
That's actually excellent. And, of course, as we all know, misinformation around this has been flying around, right? Not just in Azerbaijan, I'm sure, but globally. So being able to have a trusted source, such as provided by, Shefa through the Ministry of Health, obviously gives people a little bit more confidence when they're actually asking questions and seeking answers, really. So that's actually very, very interesting and a great initiative. I want to kind of wrap up our little session today with one last question. Charu, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about, what sort of, how do you see innovation and digital solutions enabling COVID-19 response? I believe Azerbaijan has around 1,600 cases as of now, which is on the lower side. So how do you see sort of UNDP and partners leveraging digital solutions to sort of keep these numbers in check and provide solutions to, any other kind of challenges related to COVID-19?
Thanks, Somek. It's great to be here to share what we've learned so far on this journey. Innovation and digital solutions, especially for a COVID-19 response, has been very important. First, as you heard from my colleagues, we've partnered a lot with the government of Azerbaijan, with the different ministries to respond to the immediate needs. So we had this one with the Ministry of Health, then we had separate ones with the Ministry of Information and Technology. And in the initial phases of the response, you knew that there was a lot of misinformation, and we launched these apps which provided a lot of information to the public, which was available on their phones, on the social media, and we got a lot of positive response for that. So in terms of initial response, in terms of working with the government to make sure that, facts remain facts, they have ways of identifying different stages. They also have ways in terms of getting essential services to their home. we use those apps for all those kind of purposes. So beyond the health response, it's also a socioeconomic response. So how UNDP Azerbaijan, we continue to work on different tech solutions. For example, just as of this week, we've gone, as of last week, we've had a lot of sessions for rural women, which was the online vocational education training systems. They've gone online for the women so that they continue with their classes. We have the same for the groups of disabled children we work with, and they really didn't want to miss their classes, so we've gone online on that. And we have a large self-employment program with the Ministry of Labor that is also due to go online. So we have a lot of digital solutions to that, but we also plan to integrate it into a future post-COVID-19 that we all know needs to rethink development, right? We cannot go back to the same models that we have. So we are working on these solutions so that they're integrated into our response. We work so much on also the e-governance systems. How do we work with ministries to help them on digital work and solutions, and basically working towards accelerating development. How do we use this opportunity? We've already positioned, we've got solutions, but we now need to make them medium and longer term so that we have a good response in partnership with the government. So that's where we are now at this particular stage. We'll talk to you the next time and we'll have more updates.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely spot on, right? I mean, this kind of situation around the globe has really changed the way we work, right? Digital has gone mainstream. Prior to this, digital was something that was a new idea we were trying to incorporate into our work, but now it's all digital, right? And I think it's important that the innovations and initiatives that we are working on as part of COVID-19 gets mainstreamed into our regular work, and we can continue to use these technologies and systems as we move forward beyond hopefully COVID-19 soon. Once again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been really good talking to you. It's always nice to talk to colleagues globally, especially in times like this when we're sort of all cooped up. As you can see, I'm here in my kitchen. So it's nice to hear what colleagues are working on as sort of COVID-19 response initiatives. And we hope we can spread some of the good work that you're doing to other colleagues globally. And we will definitely come back to you in the coming weeks and months to know more about how these digital solutions that you guys have been working on are being mainstream into regular UNDP work. Thank you once again. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Talk
Bye.
to you soon. Bye.